Hi, welcome to Maxim's Inside Track. Volatility continues around the world, and we have seen China feels like it's in recovery mode well and truly, and demand for dairy out of that area is building. It feels like there is some short supply globally, and yeah, we've seen some support in particular for powder, skim and whole milk, and the fat's a little bit softer. But yeah, we've got US elections coming up. We've got the UK exiting the EU in Brexit and trying to form a deal there. We've got tensions with China and Australia around barley and wine and beef, and does that extend into dairy? Who knows? But certainly tensions building on that front, and yeah, cause for concern. I'll start this one with full cream milk powder once again. A positive result on the GDT. Strong demand out of the Middle East and China for product. We are starting to see milk flows in New Zealand reasonably strong. Last month, Fonterra collections were up 3+% on a per litre basis, but yeah, they're starting to look a little bit dry in some areas, but I'm suspecting that that's going to continue to be a pretty strong season in New Zealand, and milk flows are going to be buoyant. So yeah, China demand, they've got a window where they've got some reprieve for importing, and that concludes in January. So we suspect that's going to be reasonably buoyant. We've seen the New Zealand producers saying that they're pretty heavily sold forward, at least into January, February now. So I'm suspecting whole milk to be reasonably well supported for the coming period. On to skim milk powder now. We've also seen this product in the EU and also in the US showing some signs of firming, and that was also confirmed through an 8+% increase in skim on the GDT platform. This needs to be tempered with the fact that Fonterra has actually withdrawn about 10,000 tonnes over the next period for skim milk powder. So on lower volumes, and demand for NZ origin in particular very strong. We do see about a US $300 a tonne disparity between European skim pricing and NZ skim pricing. So yeah, good, some support for skim milk powder. I'm still of the opinion that it won't run away from us, but nice to see some support. China demand still strong, and yeah, we suspect some firmness and stability around these levels into the next little while. Onto the fat products now, butter and AMF. Both of them still under some pressure. Once again, a food service story where we're seeing in Australia some slow opening up, not so much in Victoria. Regional Victoria has been given some compromise and some ability to open up slightly, but the challenge that we're seeing is that they're limited numbers per outlet or restaurant, and then they're trying to turn over those numbers. So yes, they're open, but just the volume of people. So, you know, they're probably at about 50%, 70% capacity from where they were. So this is stifling demand. That takeaway sector is reasonably strong. Yeah, so it is impacting fat demand. The retail sales are still quite good. The only challenge with retail is butter fats are expensive as opposed to vegetable fats. So whether that demand remains, I'm not sure. But this category, I suspect, will remain under pressure for the short term. On to cheddar and mozzarella. The US has a big disparity now between barrels and blocks, which is quite unusual. So either barrels are going to come up or blocks come down. But as food service continues to open up and demand picks up, we could see this these prices supported. We're starting to see some okay demand in Australia coming into this sort of seasonal Christmas period. Yeah, mozzarella under a little bit of pressure. I think that's predominantly just with COVID and COVID restrictions in Australia in particular. But yeah, stable-ish, I think. It'll be interesting to see how much inventory is in the pipelines and when people will need to refill. I get the sense that it's pretty light at the moment, and if vaccines are found or food service opens up, I suspect that we're going to see stronger demand for these products and the market to be short. Yeah, so I'm erring on the side of stable-ish to potentially firming. On to whey and lactose now. Whey powder was drifting off a little bit, but it's found some support. Still seems to be reasonable demand into China. Lactose feels as though it's peaked and drifting off slightly as well. However, still very, very strong demand on a limited supply option. Proteins still under pressure, both WPC and WPI, and until demand picks up or recovers, I think that this category will remain under some pressure. However, if skim pricing or protein prices lift, it could give it some support and head the other way. Just on another note, which I neglected earlier, we're starting to see some challenges within Australia around importing of products and delays at ports and premiums being put on importing of containers, in particular into Sydney. So it's just something to be mindful of when you're looking at your inventory levels and whether you should hold a couple of months worth of stock. So we are seeing manufacturers realising that they can't be too hand to mouth and looking to cover forward just to get some a little bit of inventory build into the system. Hope you all stay well once again. Thank you for joining me, and we'll chat to you soon.